Morning, welcome to my Valentines. How many romances can I read in a day vlog? I meant to start at midnight, but I wasn't feeling well, so it's past 1 now. And also, I forgot the book that I meant to start with, which was Merry Christmas by Louise Lennox. So instead, I will be reading Sweetheart Braves by Pamela Sanderson. The author is Indigenous, and so are the characters. They're urban natives. I'm going to just film the back of the book for a second. You can pause it if you want to read the blurb. But this book is focusing on Tommy Weaver, who has been really quite mysterious up until now. This is the third book. I don't know if I said that. Yeah, he's very much been like in the background a lot. Not really. Out of all of them, I know him the least, so I'm very intrigued. Okay, so I'm on page 44, and I had forgotten how these books are written. Um, I love a good romance that is focused on the two main characters, but my favourite romances tend to have their friends and their family, and you really get a fuller sense of their lives rather than just the two of them. And it has been a while since I read the first two books. Um, so I don't remember those two relationships as much as I would like, but the overall trajectory of things I do remember. And I really like that these books do so much with their work, and so you do get that fuller sense of them. I forgot that there were some chapters where neither of the couple show up. And I do actually really like that. I do like the through line of it. I do wish I remembered the first two a little better because of that, but I'm having a really good time with it. So this is a book that I intended to start with, Merry Kiss Me by Louise Lennox, and hopefully there is still time for it later on. Okay, so I'm on chapter 12, which is page 89, and I love Tommy so much. He's had so many hard decisions to make just in this book alone. And Elizabeth, I'm not fond of. The first few scenes that she was in, she seemed so anxious, like she was about to burst into tears at any second. But she has gone straight after him in a way that just, to me, feels quite insincere. Um, I get it in the context of when they met. She was with people that she was more comfortable with, but still, it just seems like two different people in a way. And also, yeah, not very good at. I get being interested in him, but she's not very good at not kind of pushing her way into his life. So page 125, I think, which means we're just under halfway through. And yeah, yeah, they're still in the city at this museum, and she's not anxious. She's even like touching him through his clothes in public, and I cannot get over that. Like, I just. The disconnect will not reconnect. Um, and I understand that talking about museums in relation to Indigenous people is important, but I don't know, I feel like it's been a little bit uneven with that as well. First, it was a lot with Tommy and his cousin, the alcoholic, and now it's kind of moved on to her and her grandmother and the dress of hers that has been taken by a museum, and I don't know, I feel like it could be a bit more evenly spread out, I guess. Okay, after saying that, chapter 18 swung back around and dealt a little bit more with his stuff, so I'm happy with that. Okay, so I have a big problem with this book. Like I said, I liked Tommy's side of the story more. I was more invested in his. So they went to the first museum, and because this granny wanted to see her dress, and then we went to the museum it was being loaned to, and then she went back a second time to the museum it's being loaned to, and they got people in, and they weren't making like a fuss, but they did manage to convince the museum to let them see the dress. And after they saw the dress, she said that she wanted it back, and it's like, my god, what are we doing? Why have you wasted so many pages? She's supposed to be this really well respected activist who's been doing this kind of thing for years, and you're telling me she doesn't know how repatriation works? Like, I know how fucking repatriation works. Like, it did kind of feel a little bit. We have spent so much time on this hunt to get the dress, and it's made his situation so much worse. And as the book rightly points out, repatriation takes years. And how many days has she wasted doing this? Because she could have just gone to the tribe and started the process, and as part of the process say, I want to see the dress. Like, I don't. No, I do understand why this has happened. Like, you needed to get Tommy and Elizabeth together, and in order to do that, they needed to spend time together. But it to me, it feels like it defies all reason. Like, yeah, I finished. And okay, so I like the way that Elizabeth was pulled into the repatriation process, so I do kind of get why it went about it the way that it did. Was I'm glad that things have turned around with Tommy. I wish it hadn't gotten so bad for him, but I still think it was clunky a little bit in a way that was not great. So not my favourite of the series so far, anyway. Um, but still a good book. So it's almost 10:30, and I would bet real good money that I'm not going to finish this. It's 153 pages, but it's a lot for me. But this I got as one of the blind date for a book options by Words and Kisses, which is an independent romance bookstore. It's online. It's in the UK. It's one of my favourite shops, honestly. And so I went into this knowing two things: it's a second chance romance, it's black love, and there were 5 bullet points, and I don't remember any of the other ones. I did start the first chapter because I intended to do it for like a Christmas vlog, because it was Christmas blind date with a book, and then I just didn't get around to it. But I also got a really nice little chocolate reindeer with it at the time, which I found next to the book when I got it today. Once again, here's the blurb. You can pause it if you want to read it. I am going to be starting this one from the beginning, because it has been a few months, and I feel like it would be cheating if I didn't read it from the beginning. So yeah, 153 pages. So I forgot that this book has that really cute thing of a wee illustration above each chapter. Also chapter titles, which I'm very fond of. When I first read the prologue, I thought that the exposition was a little bit clunky, though I did like the emotionality of it. Like, my heart really ached for him. I wonder if there was originally supposed to be a prologue or if that was added in towards the end, because um, the exposition is repeated in chapter 1, and it's not like we're learning it from a particularly new perspective. It is from her perspective, but the information hasn't changed and it's not adding anything. So chapter 3, and I am done. I'm packing it in. I think generally so far I feel like I am not vibing with the writing style, which is fine. It's not particularly off-putting. It's just a moment every now and then. It's like, what? Uh, like, I will read a dictionary and I will love it. I will not read a travel guide, however. And yeah, so St. John's Island, Seabrook, and Kiowa, I don't really need to be told like class and racial makeups of these islands, in like a paragraph each. It's very kind of travel guide-ish to me. Like, I'm not uninterested in the information. It's just like the writing, the way it's written. Like I said, travel guide. Um, and also, it's a really good place to stop, I think, because it is so adorable that he is the Santa for an island or all three, and it is so cute that his niece is still convinced that Santa is real and also that he is Santa. Anyway, thank you for watching. Bye.